I think the thing with the mask is I think you're going to talk about how much you dislike racial minorities. And
As a
then you don't want
tiger.
to do that when you're showing your face.
That's really funny. That's like that. Not that, but having like major like philosophical manifesto videos on YouTube is exactly what I think of with the tiger mask, and pointing like this and shaking my head.
And
Yeah.
showing your
So
bling.
so who would you be pointing at?
My bling and my sword.
All right. So who are you going to stab with your sword? Like what color people?
The non-tiger.
I
The
started
non-tiger
recording about
people.
30 seconds ago, by the way. So perfect.
Yeah, that's great. It's not a racial thing, Ben.
No, you just anybody who's not a tiger person, you'd want to stab.
There you go, dog people. No, just joking. I like dogs too.
All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben. I'm here to answer your shooting questions. Joining us today, we also have Mr. Matt Hopkins. It's not a surprise.
Hello.
Hello. And also Gabe White from GabeWhiteTraining.com. He's here to help racially purify the shooting sports. Say hello, Gabe.
Oh, grief, man. Hi, Ben. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, it's just cool. I'm sure you're happy to be here. Are you going to lose the mask now?
What?
Are you going to lose the mask now?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Probably a good idea.
Well, I don't know. You were just talking
go.
about killing all non-white people with your sword before I started recording.
Wasn't. I was saying.
All right. We're going to pimp your website, right, Gabe? I want to pimp some stuff, too. So that's
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome.
All right. So, Gabe, how long have I been telling you to get a website?
I don't know. 3 years, 2 years, quite a while.
All right. Well, you got one. GabeWhiteTraining.com.
.com. That's right.
So you do open enrollment, concealed carry, permit holder style classes, yeah?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I was going to take a class with either A, you, or B, like Barrett Fallbrush, who would be the guy?
Well, obviously I would, since I'm the one on your show. I don't see him on your show.
That's what you should work on. Get him on here.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Oh my God.
I don't know if he believes in the internet though.
That was religiously insensitive, Matt.
Exactly.
It's fucked
Sure
up.
was.
So, Gabe, you finally have a website. If people want to learn to be a badass from concealment, I looked at your course curriculum's kind of interesting. On your site, because I think your take on shooting skills is slightly different than you would get in most concealed carry permit holder classes. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It's really oriented toward people who are already at least established at a basic level in defensive handgun skills. They already need to have the kind of skills that they would need to have coming into your class. They can't be unsafe. They need to have the basic requisite skills to keep their gun running, get it out of the holster safely, shoot the gun remotely accurately.
Yeah, they can
and we
more
can
or
go
less hit stuff. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, they got to start there. It's really not a basic class, but it's also, I call it an intermediate to advanced class because I wouldn't call it all advanced either.
I know nobody wants to take. Well, I wouldn't say nobody wants to take. That's not really true, but many people are hesitant to sign up for a USPSA fundamentals class that I do because they think it's like a basic class. And that's where I have to tell them, like, you understand that GMs take this and get their dicks hammered, right? Like, that's this. I don't know. So, yes, intermediate to advanced is probably a better way to say it.
Well, I mean, isn't that really it, though? I mean, the fundamentals are the big difference between a moderate class person in USPSA and a very upper class person.
Nobody wants to hear that shit. They want to know what gear to buy and right, whatever, and then like what gear to buy. They want the secret sauce techniques, and then they're going to be a badass after. That's what they want.
You're like a switchblade and a drop wallet.
You do need a drop wallet. All right, I have something to pimp. Actually, I'm going to pimp the shit out of everything right now. So, this is out. It's dry fire reloaded, front and back. For you audio listeners, I'm holding up a copy of Playboy. They've gone back to putting the nude pictures in here. Here's some drills. There's log space of the drills. The drills are, in many cases, different, reorganized, much better. Dry-Fire Reloaded is available on Amazon. If you're a Prime member, you don't even have to pay for shipping for that shit. So if you want it, you should get it because the people who bought it thus far seem happy. Both the people that bought it are happy. So I'm happy for them. Other things to pimp. I do this like once every 6 weeks, so I'm going to do it right. If you want some bullets, thebluebullets.com could be for you. If you want to try their bullets, go there. Hopkins, are these the cheapest bullets people can get, more or less, for USPSA?
I think they're super close to it, if not the.
Yes. So if you want bullets that go out of your gun for shooting cardboard that are cheap, go to thebluebullets.com. I use them. I like them. I'm very satisfied with them. I wouldn't use anything else at this point because I like cheap stuff.
Do they come in any other colors?
No, they're just blue.
Only blue?
Only chicks and fags really care about the color, so don't worry about it. Blue is fine. Blue's okay. Also,
I like the blue. I was just curious.
that's true. Also, Tim says I have to pimp the Pro Shop. BenStuckerProShop.com. Go there if you want to buy shit. Buy guns, gear, swag, whatever. What have we been selling the shit
Laser
out of
cut
lately?
targets.
Yeah, people love the laser cut targets. And I'll tell you, like, I get a lot of shit from people online that think that that the laser cut targets are like some money making scheme. Where I like sell people on dry fire and then sell them the laser targets. For one, you don't need the laser cut targets. Just print off targets. You don't need the laser cut ones. The laser cut ones are nice, sure, they look cool, but you don't need them. And second, if you go and hang out in the pro shop for about 20 minutes, you'll quickly realize that the laser cut targets are more of a curse than a blessing because they suck up a lot of time to make these targets that they sell basically. I mean, if you factor in the retard that they have working in the back making them, like they're not making any money off the targets. It's just like it just annoys them. And there's these guys that order them in bulk, so it's like a full-time operation making these stupid targets, and they don't make any money off of it. It makes
What
no.
do they do with them?
What? I don't fucking know. I think some guys buy them in bulk for like shooting with airsoft guns. I think. I don't really know, but it's crazy. The manufacturing those things is so stupid. But
the best part about that is that
What?
Tim thought of it as a good idea. And now it's way more work than he wants.
No, yeah, it's like, well, it'd be good. I think he does it to like get people in the door and like hopefully they order other stuff. Don't be that guy. If you really want to fuck Tim over, order grip tape, like lots of different SKUs. Don't order like 3 or 4 of the same kind of grip tape. Like order grip tape for like 10 different guns. Because they lose their ass on that too, because that's a total pain in the dick. So, because they have to laser cut that out too. So, like laser cut grip tape in like multiple different varieties. So they have to use a different program and set up on the machine every time, and then order like a crazy ass random variety of targets. It makes them crazy.
Do you mean to tell me that you guys have a laser powerful enough to cut both cardboard and grip tape?
And
because that is awesome. You just hit on the reason that people buy that stuff because it's a friggin' laser and that's awesome.
It's actually powerful enough to cut your finger, as Tim has learned not once, not twice, but 4 times. He's actually burned his hand with a laser.
How?
Wow.
After one,
Wow.
you kind of learn, right? Like you don't stick your hand on a hot.
I wouldn't stick my hand in industrial equipment while it's operating in any case. But no, it took him a few times. I'm sure he'll burn himself again. But whatever. Yeah, so order the dumbass dry fire.
You're also forgetting the most important part. You're also forgetting the most important part, which is that it is an enjoyable thing to go spend money on something that you like, whether it bears any fruit or not.
Well, the grip tape will bear fruit. I mean, it will. Like the targets, you're going to get the laser cut cardboard target that you order. That's the fruit it's going to bear. Will that make you a better shooter? No. Will doing regular dry practice make you a better shooter? Yeah, probably. But whatever. People are going to do what people are going to
Unless
do.
you do it wrong because you didn't buy Dry Fire Reloaded.
I have plenty of motherfuckers that buy it and either A, never read it or don't read it. Like, having the information at your fingertips is not the issue. People want it to be easy, and it's not. It's like it's hard to get good at shooting, as we all know.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to make it easy for people, or easier, but it's not easy. Like you do have to work at it. You have to read the stuff and try to do the drills properly and understand what's going on. Anyway, hi, I have a question for your podcast. You always say grip the gun harder, but why? This is a guy's question. So I initially sort of dismissed this question. I'm thinking, this guy's fucking with us. And at this point, I think maybe he is fucking with us. But I think there's plenty. It is self-evidently true to all of us that we need to grip the gun harder, yeah? On some level, like we want to grip the gun harder.
Yeah.
We want to have more control over it. But why is that good? Hopkins, why do you need to grip the gun harder?
Because that thing's trying to jump out of your hands every time you pull the trigger. It's trying to get away. It hates that trigger, man. Hates getting pulled like that.
Oh, why is it better to grip it harder then?
You have more control over it. I don't know. I mean...
Well, no, I think you do know. You nailed it. You got more control.
No, it's the same reason that hockey players hold the shirt while they punch somebody.
Doesn't move as much, right?
The guy can't move as much.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and then the other thing, there's sort of the side benefit that you may not think about is if you're holding tightly onto the gun, especially with your non-firing hand, and you're railing on the trigger and you're pushing the trigger a little bit sideways, something like that. If you're holding the gun in place like a vice grip, it's not going to move off target as much when you're pressing the trigger, not quite perfectly straight back. So there's a few benefits to doing this. Are we in agreement on this, Gabe?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
what is self-evident to us is likely not self-evident to other people.
But now can I add another layer to this
Add
though?
whatever
Because
the fuck you want, man.
one thing that I feel like I've noticed in experimentation with slightly different grip structures, like especially when you're trying to, and I'm not saying I'm doing it right, but I think a lot of people do this, when you're trying to copy Robert Vogel in particular, because he's so famous for his specific grip and the grip pressures that he tries to put on the gun, the torque he tries to put on the gun to minimize recoil. When I've tried that, I've found that it introduces sometimes odd structural tensions in the grip that cause the gun to not move as straight up and down as I prefer. Even though maybe the more important thing I think is that the sight lift and return consistently, maybe not strictly that it moves straight up and down, but straight up and down is something that's nice. I mean, I think a lot of people also like that.
I do.
I think I am in kind of a middle spot to a degree. I mean, I do try to grip the gun hard, but I could do things to probably grip the gun harder, but I'm not so sure that they're worth it. But maybe that's just where I'm at, and if I grip the gun harder and got the structure right, maybe it would still just be better. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I like the sights tracking up and down.
I do
I'll tell you
too.
that.
Yeah.
And a lot
I've
of
never
times I can.
experienced over gripping it like that, where it would cause the gun to recoil weird. Because that's what I'm kind of getting from you, Gabe. Like the gun will, instead of track up and down, it'll kind of go some other direction.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing for me is that when I try to do that kind of grip where I'll change my grip structure, try to get my hand higher, maybe move my support hand a little higher and more forward on the gun, a little bit away from the more conventional kind of thumbs forward Latham Enos grip, like I've seen pictures of Ben using.
Me?
When I do that, I think there's a sorry, I don't mean to put technique, in your hands, so to speak, but if that's wrong.
I don't make a point of pointing my thumbs forward. It's just the way my hands fall in the frame.
Yeah. I'm just calling it that because that's what I know it to be called.
Okay.
I'm sure there are other names to it for it too. But anyway, my point is that I feel
call
like
it
there's
the
a bit of a
cock
trade
strangle,
between,
by the way. For naming stuff.
but a bit of a trade-off between the actual just strict grip pressure and the structure of the grip. And sometimes the pursuit of extreme grip pressure can mess up the structure of the grip, and I feel like that has some trade-offs, or at least it has in my experience.
Yeah, I tell people not to worry about the little details like that. Just kind of do what's comfortable. Like, get it
Yeah.
so it's comfortable and consistent, and then quit fucking with it. Because what's going to matter is doing it the same way every time, and then making sure you're holding onto the gun hard. And
Yeah.
that's going to be more important than wringing every last bit of pressure you can out of it.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's what I
Yeah.
like.
No, I feel a lot the same way.
Yeah. And I get questions like that sometime in class where they're like, well, if I have my thumb, like my fingers like this as opposed to like this, and it's like 3 millimeters apart, it's like, do you really
Right.
think that's going to matter?
Yeah.
No. All right. Just started listening a couple weeks ago, catching up on old episodes, and haven't heard this addressed yet. What are your thoughts on running custom homemade gear rather than purchasing name brand? I personally would rather spend the time to make stuff, but was curious as to what your options were. I think he means opinions.
Opinions.
Well, he didn't write that. Anyway, obviously I can't get it to work how I want to be reliable. Then I'll just buy something else. But if it works, is there a reason not to do it? Thanks.
The only downside to that is time, I think. It might take way more time to create some holster out of the blue than just to buy a Blade Tech off the shelf.
Well, I think for most guys that are doing this sport, like spending $30 on a pouch on a few magazine pouches is way fucking easier than trying to craft your own. I would rather just buy some pouches and run
It's
with
got to
them.
be.
It's got to be easier. But I think a lot of times
It's got to be.
buying something and then running it for a while, you might have a desire to make changes to that or to buy something else or something like that, which is totally fine. That I don't know. I don't know if you are just coming into the sport. I don't know how you'd have a basis to decide what you want for gear. You know what I mean? Like, how would you know what you want it to be if you've never done it?
Yeah.
The only way to tell would be look at video or something like that.
Well,
Or
then
what
you're
have
just
other
copying.
people.
You just would be copying them, right? So why wouldn't you just buy what they're using?
Maybe he likes to make it.
You don't.
That's
see,
the only reason I could see.
You don't see many really good shooters using like homemade bullshit.
No, but they modify the
They all
store-bought
modify their
stuff
stuff.
a lot,
Yes.
usually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I had CR Speed magazine pouches for my first major USPSA match, but they made it one match. Then I took a hacksaw to them. And I had CR Speed pouches, and it was like after one match that I took a hacksaw to the top of them to get those things, sort of working properly. And then a month after that, they were gone, and I was using something else.
Does the guy asking the question, does he say what gear he is talking about at all? I mean, we're kind of assuming holster magazine pouch, right? I mean, but
belt?
is there something else? Because it could be lots of things.
I reckon he could be building a gun.
It's going to be hard to do.
Is he taking like a metal chopstick and sawing it down to use as a firing pin? I mean,
Who the
what
fuck
is he
knows?
talking about?
I don't know. Look at what the top guys use in the division you want to shoot. Buy that shit. If there's something you don't like, buy different shit. Like, that is the easiest advice to give. The starting point is
I could not agree with that more.
Really?
Yes, I could not agree with that more because no, it is because no, it really is because what you need to do is when you want to reach new heights in something, if that's what you want to do, you need to look at the current top performers in it. First, copy them, do that well, and then attempt to build from there. I think. I mean, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? I mean, humanity would go nowhere if we all had to relearn everything all the time.
That's a standard way to do it, but if you're at the top, or you're
hold your button down, Hopkins. Jesus.
It is. What the fuck?
We're getting static off your dumbass button.
All right, how about now?
Now it's good.
That's better.
I lost my fucking train of thought.
You were talking about.
No, I mean that's a standard thing. Like
for strippers.
No. I have a.
You're not
go into that.
Sure, you weren't talking about that.
I'm not gonna go into that. The only thing I was going to say was if you're doing something differently than everybody else's and you're not exceeding them, you should probably look at what they're doing also.
Right, and this would also include me.
That's
When
good
I
advice.
started, I used a Beretta just because it's what I had. But
Like-
if I were fucking smart, I would have just bought a Glock and just shot that shit for a while. You know, I was really swimming upstream, just in terms of availability for gear, you know, or parts and that kind of stuff. It was, I didn't have
Holster,
many options. Yeah, I just didn't have many, and I had to basically make my own holster. I'm like drilling on some dumbass holster mount and trying to get it right. It was like I had the money for proper gear, because if you have the money for the wrong gear, you probably have the money for the right gear too. I should have just
Also
bought
a
a
good
Glock
point.
and been fucking done with it.
Hmm.
But anyway, live and learn. Everybody thinks they're the smartest motherfucker in the room.
Not.
You know?
Especially in shooting. Everybody thinks they know how to shoot.
Yeah. Look, if you're trying to figure out who the dumbest motherfucker in the room is and you don't know who that is, it's you. It's real easy. Maybe that's not a nice thing to say, but that's how I feel.
That's from poker, isn't it?
That's from life, Matt.
Okay.
Oh man, this is good. You're gonna like this next question, Matt.
I've already read it.
I'm new to USPSA and have shot about 5 matches. I suck. I think part of my problem is that I have a gun for every class. I have a CZTS I've shot in limited. I have a PPQ setup for carry optics and another PPQ setup for production. I've been rotating through these. Do you think I would benefit from sticking to one division for a while? If so, which one? 5 matches? This motherfucker's got equipment for 3 divisions.
He's
Well, how's
obviously
he gonna
not
know
trying
what he
hard
wants
enough.
to shoot if he doesn't try them all out?
Exactly. He needs to buy a fucking checkmate and then a revolver and then a Dan Wesson single stack.
So obviously, optimal benefit would be achieved by him having equipment for every division and never shooting the same division 2 matches in a row. Right?
He should switch in the middle of matches, actually.
I don't even know why I finished the match in the same division. That's
Exactly,
a good point.
dude. I mean, you got to get the same weather
Holy
conditions.
shit.
It could take years just to figure out which division you should shoot.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I would say this guy's a cautionary tale, but it's, not really. Like, even he knows he's fucking this up.
Yeah, it's a simple answer. Like,
And you want me to tell you which division to shoot? I mean,
pick the PPQ. At least you're keeping the same frame, hopefully.
yeah. What I would say, pick the gun that you subjectively like the most to shoot. And if you don't really have a strong preference, pick the one that has the most dudes to shoot against around you. I assume that's what you want. So I would guess it's going to be limited or production. That would be my guess. I would be surprised if he's got a bunch of heavy hitters and carry optics. I mean, you never know, but
Is that a
kinda doubt
thing?
it. Carry optics? Is it carry
No,
optics?
a heavy hitter and carry optics. A bunch of them.
Well, it's a thing until Carry Optics Nationals is done. Then they'll be back in open.
Okay.
Or back in production, probably. Wansik will be back in production, and I imagine Shane will be back in production. Just saying. That's what I imagine is going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, there's heavy hitters depending on the time of year.
All right.
But I would probably... God, I don't like any of his choices, to be honest. A CZTS, those are okay guns, but I would shoot a proper limited gun. I wouldn't shoot that thing. No offense to Matt.
None taken.
Okay, and PPQ, no, fuck that gun. Jesus. So, what are we saying? Just tell him to shoot production?
Have him just stick with one gun. Shoot it.
How about-
We've always said that.
Flip a coin and shoot one. Like,
I was gonna say the first thing that you said, Ben, which is pick the one you friggin' like.
Yeah,
Go with
that's
that.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, is this guy? I mean, really. I mean,
Really?
What is the point? The point is you like it. You like shooting USPSA, so shoot what you like. Otherwise, what is the point? I mean, for 99.5% of everyone, right?
he's gonna get the bitches after he gets the titles.
Yeah.
Get the titles,
Exactly.
get the bitches, get the money. That's the way it works. That's basically USPSA in a nutshell. Like if I had to summarize it, that's what happens. Is that true, Matt?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get kicked the fuck off this show. I'm gonna get kicked off my own show.
Yeah.
All right, any closing thoughts, guys?
No.
No, I think he really needs to go with what he likes.
You and your fucking reasonable advice. I got it. This is like a grown
You gave
man.
the spice first.
You're right.
No,
but this
that's
is
gotta
like
be a record though.
this is like a
5
grown ass man.
matches, and he has three of the divisions already. That's got to be some kind of record, right?
This is, but who like sends a message like, well, I could buy a Honda Civic, or a Toyota Corolla, or a Ford Fusion, and I'm just wondering what, like, I don't know. They're all
And
very
I want to go
similar.
autocross on the weekend. Which one should I
buy
use?
whichever one you fucking like. Like, what do you want me to say? They're pretty similar in the ways that matter. Like, I don't know.
I want you guys to ask Tim Herron that question next time he's on. I want to know what he says about that question of the 3 cars. Because I picked the Honda
cars?
Civic.
I'd pick the Fusion.
You already picked the Fusion,
Exactly.
dickhead. Gabe would go with the Corolla.
I have a
said Honda.
Corolla right now, which
I
I
know.
But before
I know.
that, I had a Civic, which I also loved.
See? I'm the master. I would go with neither. I'd ride a bicycle.
Fiesta.
Ford Fiesta. I rented one of those in Greece. It was pretty tight. Actually, it
I'm
was
sure
terrible.
it wasn't. I'm
It
sure
was
it
a
was
terrible
not.
car. Every car you've rented is awesome. Well, you've got it. All right. Well, it's another bang up show, guys. Anyway, listener people, if you have a question you'd like the answer to, go to bensteger.com. Send us your shooting question, and Hopkins will shit all over it.
I did
Right?
way better this time. I didn't shit over anything.
I know. That's why it was kind of fun. Gabe was the guy shitting on people.
What?
You did too, pretty hard.
No, I was terrible. I was such a dick. I was so bad.